There's been lots of talk, of course, about the forthcoming statement from the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, and we polled our members, about 1,000 of them, small, medium enterprises across the country, asking them what they thought of some of the plans that had previously been put forward by Rishi. And over 70% of them, probably not surprisingly, are saying that the national insurance rise that is due in April ought to be postponed. Several reasons for that. Firstly, the budget deficit that he was anticipating having isn't as bad as he thought, so the economy has actually bounced back quicker than he'd thought it would, and therefore it does give him a bit of wriggle room. But of course, what we couldn't have anticipated when that announcement was initially made back in October time was the Ukrainian war, inflation, the issues that we all know about in terms of energy costs, fuel costs, and coming down the tracks for businesses, of course, increases in the living wage, minimum wage, and lots of other things and pressures of costs for business. So I hope that the Chancellor recognises that both from an individual perspective, but also from business growth opportunities, he needs to review that decision about national insurance, because it's going to hit business and hit people in the pocket really hard.
I totally agree. I mean, I don't know if I totally agree. I mean, I think Rishi keeps saying that he believes in tax cuts. He's a Thatcherite who believes in tax cuts. If you're not going to cut taxes in a cost of living crisis, when are you going to cut taxes? I mean, people are really going to struggle to pay their bills this year. Like you said, whether it's petrol, whether it's energy, just cost of living generally, food, etc. If people really can't stomach another tax hike at that time.
I think this is a big moment for Rishi. I mean, if you look in all the papers today, it's got like tax tensions between Boris, Rishi, and also Jacob Rees-Mogg, who's coming out saying, no, don't forget, you're Conservative guys. We don't believe in increasing taxes. We want it down. Highest taxes in 70 years. What are you doing? I'd say, I mean, it's very much being painted the picture that Rishi is the one wanting to go forward with the national insurance contribution. We've paid out so much money because of, they say, COVID. I say because of lockdown. Many of us were saying come out of lockdown. So they've given out lots of money. Yes, they have. But you cannot make it more difficult for the individual, as Philip's saying, with the cost of living. As you're saying, you can't make it more difficult for businesses because who have you got to keep the economy going? What are you doing to your population? So I'd say, Rishi, really, you cannot, I mean, we really cannot let this national insurance contribution increase go ahead.